You are about to witness one of the strangest friendships in history. A connection so rare, even the CIA doesn't have access to it. A relationship so crazy, it might prevent a nuclear war. One is a controversial NBA legend who stands 2 meters tall and was known by the world for breaking the rules. The other is a dictator in the world's most isolated country. A man so mysterious, even his own height can't be confirmed. In this guy's world, breaking the rules could mean death. So how did these two total opposites become friends? This is the strange relationship of Dennis Rodman and North Korea's supreme leader Kim Jong-un. And you'll be surprised to know who knew the other first.
I love him. I love the guy's awesome.
Despite North Korea's supposed hatred of the United States, Kim grew up as a basketball fan, watching the glory years of the Chicago Bulls. In fact, little Kim loved Dennis Rodman's team so much, he was said to have worn a Bulls jersey and sneakers. His classmates even recalled him spending hours making pencil drawings of basketball legend Michael Jordan. Yes, Kim was a massive Chicago Bulls fanboy way before he became North Korea's leader. And so, when CIA discovered this piece of information, they discussed sending a Chicago Bull to North Korea as a way to get to Kim, except somehow a group of adventurous TV producers beat them to it. They asked Michael Jordan, he said no. Then they asked Dennis Rodman, he said yes, but he didn't fully realize what he was agreeing to. A very naive Rodman came to North Korea thinking he would just sign some autographs and play some basketball.
I was so blind about the whole situation about North Korea. I was just more like, okay, great, we're meeting this guy. And I thought this was just a regular guy. But when he walked in, I mean, it was like Moses just split the Red Sea.
So clueless, in fact, that when Kim Jong-un sat next to him,
he said, so how you like our country? I'm like, that's cool. Yeah. And just sort of stuff like that. Then all of a sudden we start talking about Chicago Bulls.
In that historic trip, they watched a basketball game together, toured the Dolphin Aquarium and ice rink, and enjoyed a private dinner with a lot of drinking. Perhaps Rodman drank too much because he even dared to say this.
He stands up, he's got his glass.
Dennis stands
up,
What does he say?
Glass, and he goes, Marshall, your father and grandfather did a lot of up shit, but you're trying to change things, and that's a great thing. Kim Jong-un gets up and starts clapping.
Wow, imagine joking around with a guy who threatens to nuke other nations. And so here is where I want to ask you a difficult question. By befriending one of the most dangerous leaders in the world, is Dennis Rodman a traitor or an accidental genius?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Since his first ever visit, Rodman has landed in North Korea 5 times. Not once was he sponsored by the US government.
To see how he's doing, see how the family's doing, and just revisit the country. I just fell in love with the country from day one.
During those visits, Rodman said they would just tour around the island. They would jet ski or even sing karaoke together.
Rodman now the only American who can bring first-hand reports of the secretive dictator.
Rodman got close enough to Kim to earn his trust, but of course, not everyone saw this as something to be celebrated.
They say Kim Jong-un is guilty of extermination, murder, enslavement, torture, rape, forced abortions, knowingly causing prolonged starvation, and so on, all according to a 2014 UN report on North Korea. So, for some context, that's the guy you're calling a great guy.
Are you done?
Because the more Rodman spent time with Kim, the more he sounded like he was defending him.
That's what I don't condone what he does, but as far as a person to person, he's my friend. And I've told people about Kim Jong-un. He's all about the 21st century. He's trying to progress his country.
Do you think he was fooled by North Korean propaganda?
I don't want to do war.
I don't want to do war. He said that to me.
I think he really wants to change his culture, but I think he's forced to be in this position because every time I go over there, he's changed so much for the people, and people don't see that.
Or perhaps have we underestimated the power Dennis Rodman actually holds here? After all, Kim Jong-un is one of the most dangerous supreme leaders in the world.
The first thing he said to me, he said, Mr. Rodman, you know, we just want to know, can we trust you? I say, absolutely.
No matter how you feel about their strange friendship, one thing is clear. Dennis Rodman is the world's biggest hope in understanding the plans of Kim Jong-un. Because of their friendship, the US learned about Kim's age and the fact that he has a daughter. And in 2014, when an American citizen got imprisoned in North Korea, Rodman claimed he wrote to Kim and begged for his release. In his letter, he called Kim Jong-un a dear friend for life. He didn't get a response, but in the same year, the prisoner was freed.
The deal is I don't discuss politics because that's not my job. My job is to be a human being, to try to connect us with them.
Is the world not thanking him enough for his voluntary diplomacy? Because, see, even when no one took him seriously,
One day, this door's gonna open.
to everyone's surprise, the doors did open eventually.
When I went back home, I got so many death threats, but I kept my head up high, brother. I knew things were going to change.
Whether this historic event can be traced to Rodman being the only mutual friend of Trump and Kim, to him giving Kim Jong-un a copy of Trump's book, we will leave it up to you to analyze that. Now, after hearing all of these things, Night Fam, we really want to know what you think. Is it acceptable to befriend someone who the world sees as an evil person in exchange for information that could save lives? Or is Dennis Rodman playing a dangerous game, being linked to someone powerful yet so unpredictable?
What does it say? Peace, love, not war.
Or maybe all of this is just one big coincidence. As incredibly weird as this friendship may be, at least we know now that even the worst people on our planet have someone they want to be friends with.